Hello. Today I'd like to talk about my Game Boy collection because recently I finished it. Now, that doesn't mean like I got every model of every type of Game Boy that there is in existence. I didn't get the Game Boy Pocket that has the little LED showing the battery meter, but I have every Game Boy. It's taken me years, but I finally finished it just recently actually, and I'd like to share it. And to keep it simple for me, we're just going to go in order that I got them. This is my Game Boy Advance. I got it for Christmas one year. I don't know how long it was ago. Maybe 5 years ago. I played games on it a lot, and I actually liked it so much that I ended up changing the shell. As you may be able to see, it is kind of a atomic purple right now, which it's kind of my favorite color that retro consoles had, and I wish they did it more. Now, I did love playing on this, but the drawbacks were that there wasn't any light coming from the screen or above the screen, so you had to hold it in the sunlight, like you did most Game Boys. And that, while good, did make for a slightly inoptimal gaming situation. I do still love it though. It is beautiful. It is a good Game Boy. This is my Game Boy Color, and I like it. It's pretty good. It has this funny little yellow backing on it, because I guess they lost the original back and they had a spare at the game shop I got it from. Spare yellow back. But I don't actually have a lot of games that are Game Boy Color. I have two. However, I mostly play those on my Game Boy Advance, because the screen quality was just a little bit better, and it was easier to get the sunlight onto it. Though I do still really like the Game Boy Color. This is my Game Boy Advance SP, and this one was a game changer. As you may know, the Game Boy Advance SP comes with a little button right there, which turns on a light for the screen. It's lovely. I love playing on it. It also closes up, so you can put it in your pocket and not worry about jumbling anything on your game while you're playing. I mean, you do still have to worry about these shoulder buttons, but that's not too bad. Unfortunately on mine, only one of the shoulder buttons work, so it makes some games unplayable with it, and that's sad. I plan to fix it someday if I can. This is my Game Boy Micro. Now, not a lot of people know that these were actually made, but let me tell you, these were a powerhouse. Not only does it have a backlit screen, you can change the brightness of that screen. And while it may not look like it's too comfortable in the hand, it's actually pretty okay. It's pretty alright. But I wouldn't really know because I mostly played on Nintendo DS's. In fact, I played Super Smash Bros. On a Nintendo 3DS for about 2 years straight. And no other game. But I really do like the Game Boy Micro, and it is probably my favorite just because of how well it works. This is my original Game Boy, and boy, it is clunky. What I really like about it is that when you turn on the power switch, it locks in a little square into place, which hooks into the original Game Boy cartridges, if you know, and keeps them there. Problem is, mine doesn't really always accept that. Sometimes it thinks that the Game Boy card has been ejected when it has not, and the game will bug out. Still though, I do like it. It is so cool with its contrast screen and all that. I know maybe some old people are gonna come in here and be like, oh, contrast screens, that's just a thing that was. But I like it. It's really cool. I think having contrast on a screen, while not the best, and definitely not making for the best gaming situations, is still very cool, and I like it just because of how quirky it is. Quirked up Nintendo Game Boy. This is a Game Boy Pocket, and it's actually a lot like the original Nintendo Game Boy. It still has the contrast wheel. It is a little bit easier to play games on this than the original Game Boy, and the screen is a bit better. So I like it, and it's cool. This is the Game Boy Light, and interestingly enough, this was only made and sold in Japan. So not a lot of people in the US have these. Now, this was a Game Boy that played original Game Boy games, but it had a light you could turn on in it, so you would be able to see it light up and play the games better. It's kind of cool because the light turns the screen just green, because the original Game Boy was green, you know? And it's nice to play on this because of that, so I like it. And that is my Game Boy collection. I hope you enjoyed. Probably not as much as I do owning these little bad boys. And let me know if you think I should go all out and get every single model of every single make of every single Game Boy out in existence, including the Game Boy Pocket with the little LED indicator showing how much battery you have left. Okay, well, thank you. Goodbye.